What's up, Elquex? So today's video is just a speed paint and talking video, and I'm just gonna be talking about, school and my ideas for this particular illustration that I did. This is actually an art assignment, and basically we had to design a sort of magazine cover for the New Yorker. I had no idea they actually hired illustrators to actually put stuff on there, and that they could do pretty much whatever they wanted for it, which I thought was really cool. Because I was like, wait, we can do whatever we want for this? Seriously? So I did my usual thing. The professor actually made us write down 100 things we like to draw. It was really hard for me to list a lot of stuff because it was mostly aesthetics or specific things, but it was also hard because some things are very specific. So I was like, okay, for example, I like to draw candy, but also I like to draw lollipops because I like the swirly shape and all that. But I was like, should I put candies or should I put lollipops? So I ended up just putting, I think, both or whatever. It was a hard list to make because it's really hard to really dig deep into what do I actually like to draw, because sometimes it's hard to really name it. For example, I like to draw hair a certain way, but that's more of a style thing, not really a specific thing that I like to draw, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I decided to do this creepy cute Rushton doll thing where basically it's Frankenstein together, and it's supposed to be all creepy and ominous, and I don't know, I didn't have a specific story for why it is like this. It just I just thought, oh, creepy cute, that's my usual thing. And during critique, everyone was suggesting stuff, and I was like, I don't like this. Someone suggested, oh, you should put a hand for one of the Frankenstein hands instead of a paw or whatever, and I was like, no, because it wouldn't feel right, because I actually did illustrate it out, I sketched it out. It's not in the video, but I didn't like how it looked because it just didn't feel right. Even on a scary level, it just felt weird. And also, how would a hand be Franken-stitched to a plush toy? I mean, I guess it could be in the toy, but that wouldn't look as scary, you know what I mean? So I ended up not doing that. So I made it it was Frankenstein together, and I did add one element that was sort of flesh related or whatever, and it was that one eye that has that's skin color or whatever, it's on the face. That was okay, I was gonna make it initially just another toy, but then I realized, oh, making it skin will make it unsettling in a way, and it is cliche and it doesn't make sense because I literally just debunked the hand thing. But you know what, I was whatever. And I did put more detail into the stitches on that, so it's it makes sense. So it's into the fur, if that makes sense. I don't know, because Russian dolls are actually the face part is made out of rubber, so it also could be that, but I don't know. So I was doing a lot of research for what type of Russian doll I should draw. For example, I was initially, I think, I had 3 ideas. So initially there was going to be a bunny, and then the other was these 2 ducks. Nobody liked the ducks one, and the bunny one a lot of my classmates liked, but then they were oh, we've seen this before, this whole eye motif is very cliche, so they're you should go with the cat one. And I was okay, I mean, I do like the cat one, but I also like the eye one, but then I realized that the eye one is a bit too creepy for the New Yorker, but then I realized that the price was oh, you can do whatever you want, and it's not a legit thing, so I guess it works out. But yeah, so this picture was actually pretty fun to do. I initially was going to do my more painterly coloring style for this, but I did not, because I was this is going to take too long, and I do not feel like doing that sort of thing. I'm still experimenting with it, and also it was just killing me, so I was you know what, I'm just going to do my regular cell shading style, because that makes my life easier, and also I want to practice with shading techniques and all that. So yeah, it was hard actually. For one thing, the color palette was hard. I wanted to do something that was somewhat Russian doll-esque. Russian dolls tend to be very bright and kind of pastel-y, and they tend to be very, it's usually the color palette is just yellow, pink, sometimes a bit of red or maybe brown, but I don't think I've seen, actually no, I've seen some that were blue or purple or whatever, but generally I think I wanted the palette to be bright, but then the overlays and stuff you'll see later actually it tones it down and it looks all dark and grimy in a way, and I think that's the sort of thing I was going for. What else? Well, I definitely did feel like did improve a little bit with like line art and coloring. Like, it's been a while since I've done like a full illustration digitally like this, so I feel like I've been getting better. I have not been drawing much lately just because of like school has just been killing me. It's been a lot of stressful stuff I'm not getting into, but like it just makes it hard to draw, so like I haven't drawn much, which sucks. So I feel like my skills are like in this weird plateau area, and I'm getting better when I do stuff, but then I also am not getting better because I'm not doing enough stuff. Like I'm only taking 2 art classes, but like even taking just 2 and like with all the other stuff going on, just like makes everything much more stressful than it needs to be. I'm also working on a painting because I'm taking a painting class, and I'm gonna be honest, I do not like oil painting. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite medium to work with. I mean, I'm not even a fan of painting like with acrylics or whatever, but like I would at least prefer if we could use acrylics, because for whatever reason the professor's like, no, you have to use oils for this class. And I'm like, why? Like, we could use acrylics. Like, they're pretty much similar in a way. Like, acrylics dry faster, and like also I don't have to worry about the freaking annoying smell. The cleanup is easier. Like, oh, you spilled like your acrylic water, it's not a hazardous waste, you know. But if you spill your Gamasol, oh my gosh, you spilled the Gamasol, it's hazardous, which is annoying. Like, that's what I don't like. So, and then here's the thing. So in order for me to like to be able to take a class where I don't have to use oil, or I have the option to pick between like any sort of paint medium, I would have to take this class and then I could take another class, because I'm not really a painting major or whatever. Like, that's not my thing. So I'm like, great, but I don't want to do that because I don't like to paint that much. I mean, I'd like to paint more, but like I want to be able to do my own thing with it, you know. Like, a lot of the stuff I've been painting is just like still lifes or like, you know, photos or whatever, so it's been kind of boring for me. And like also I have a hard time like painting stuff that's like original. Like, it's harder to do like illustrations in a paint when I'm painting, but like with any other medium it's easy. Like, I can do watercolor illustration just fine because watercolor is easy to control, there's no hazard issues, and you know, it's easy to clean up, and I can literally just pop my watercolors like out anywhere and do a really quick thing like a cafeteria and then be done with it. Whereas if I want to do like gouache or like acrylics or something, I would have to probably do it at home or like somewhere where I have more, you know, space to like put everything and set up and throw things away, which is really annoying. So that's also why I'm not really a big fan of oil painting. Thankfully I've not gotten many headaches from it. I actually did have been working in my room because I don't feel like working in my living room, even though it's like the biggest, technically well ventilated space in the house, just because I don't feel like being downstairs. I just want to be in my room. I don't feel like moving all the stuff up and down, so I'm like, whatever. And thankfully that actually worked out. Like, my window, just having my window and like 2 fans going at like the same time actually has been helpful. I would do a speed paint for like the painting I'm working on, but I don't know how to like set up my camera in a way that I won't be in the frame, and I don't feel like spending all that time like centering my face out, so I'm just not gonna do it. And also, like, I'm a very slow painter, and it would take way too long, just way too much recording time. So I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And like, technically a lot of stuff I've made, like speed paints, they've been long, but like, you know, I prefer to just do something, a speed paint that's on the shorter side. Like, I don't think I would ever want to make a speed paint longer than like 30 minutes, because also like I have to find, because for me, my factor when I make speed paints is I want to make speed paints to be somewhat short, because I'm making them for myself as well. Like, as in, you know, when I watch speed paints, I don't have the patience to like sit and watch like an hour-long speed paint, you know? That's too long. But I don't want to also watch a speed paint that's like a minute, because then that's too short. So I like speed paints that are within the like 10 to like 20-ish minute range, especially with like commentary, because I feel like that helps balance things out. So that's why I'm gonna probably start talking more in like speed paint videos, just because, you know, also it helps avoid with copyright, because I swear I like can't find any good songs that are like non-copyright that fit the vibes of like some speed paints I make. And you know, I have like this whole playlist of like songs that I pick for my videos, and like I barely use any of the songs because I just don't because I don't have like the occasion to use them, and also like they're probably copyrighted. So I'm just like, you know what, I can't win. I'm just gonna talk. It's hard to talk about some stuff sometimes because I'm not great at like I'm not the best at like coming up with topics, and also I don't want to be like a commentary art channel or whatever. I mean, I do watch commentary artists, but I'm just not. I want to stay out of that realm because I feel like there's so much crap going on, and I feel like if I step in there, I'm screwed. So I'm going to stay on my own personal bubble of art videos and like Alien Stage, Dragon Quest, and other fandom things. I'm just doing my own thing. I might, talk about stuff, but I am just keeping it to like my own territory. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be considered like an artist commentary YouTube or whatever. I want to just be, just the Pulcella-Lulu channel. Like I don't want to be labeled as that because I feel like I don't want to get dragged into anything if I do want to talk about some certain things, because there are topics I would like to delve into that are more serious or whatever. I don't know when I make those videos, but I would like to, and I don't know if I should script them, but the last video I made that I scripted did not turn out well. I actually unlisted it. It was an AI video. I don't think anyone even notices, but if you did, yeah, I just didn't like how it came out. I just didn't like how I scripted it, and also I just hated how I delivered everything. I'm not great at reading off of scripts. Like, I feel like when I read it, my brain is like, I can't read it naturally. My brain just ends up reading it very robotically, so it ruins everything. So I'm like, you know what? I thought scripting would help because then it would make things easier, and it did to an extent because I knew like places to pause or whatever. But also like I sound so robotic, and I was like, you know what? I just can't do this. I'm just gonna try to just write. Maybe I should like write notes down or something, and then just go off of that. Like they think that might help with like, improv type stuff. Because I guess my overall vibe I want for my channel isn't super scripted. It's more of like just casual, very chill, off the cuff type thing. Because I think that I work better with that. And I think that if I continue doing this, it'll make things a lot easier for me in the future. So, yeah. And I feel like in my brain I sound a lot more eloquent when I talk. Because I swear, like, a good chunk of the time, I have to re-record video stuff, like, over and over and over and over again. And also I have to, like, constantly take out a lot of silences during, like, editing and whatnot, because I have to pause a lot when I talk. Because and also try to avoid saying like too much, because I don't want to seem, I don't want to be one of those people where they say like every, see, I did it again. I don't want to be one of those people that say like every 2 seconds. There was this dude in my painting class last semester who said like way too much. It was getting on my nerves. Like, I did it again. There are those, people, like, how when you, did it again. Okay, you know how when, you hear a word, but the way someone says it gets on your nerves? So, like, when they say it, I did it again. So when they say it over and over again in a certain way, you get really annoyed. That's what he kept doing. I mean, he probably, I don't think people can help it when they talk like that, but still, I'm trying to avoid saying like too much, because I swear, it is one of those words that I need to stop using. Same with like odd, whatever. I sound like I'm being overly critical of myself. I'm just trying to, I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. We're getting towards the end, but I guess I'll just talk about some other things. Recently, I found this app for like video editing, and I actually used that for this video. So I was like, oh, maybe I should do like a cross editing thing where I do some things on my phone and then I take it to my laptop and then I just do that in Premiere, because it makes my life easier. It made my life so much easier to just put everything in on the phone and then just like speed up everything and put it together and then just download and just put in Premiere. It made my life so much easier, because I swear my issue with Premiere is it doesn't take MKV files or whatever. I don't know why. The other video editing software I used was called OpenShot, and it really sucked. But anyway, so basically I have to like convert all the video files, and then I have to download them like again. I have to like re-download them by like posting them on like YouTube and then re-downloading them through like this site or whatever, and it's just so tedious. So doing it on my phone made things like way easier. in a way, so I was like, okay, I like this. This actually works out. And also, the video editing app has like all these funky effects, so yeah. That's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this illustration and me just rambling about stuff. And see you quacks later.